Hello and welcome back to our deadline day coverage on Football Daily. We've done 2 live streams and we've got a bit of breaking news for you now because Christian Eriksen, Man United midfielder Christian Eriksen, has been ruled out till April/May with an ankle injury sustained in the FA Cup clash against Reading at the weekend after a nasty challenge from Andy Carroll. Interestingly, well, I thought interesting, a deadline day signing in 2011.
Yeah.
In January 2011. So it's funny how things work out. Either way, Eriksen is out now. This is a big blow for Man United, isn't it, Henry?
He really is. He's been so impressive this season. It's great to see. It always will be with Eriksen. Loved him at Spurs. Thought he was awesome for Brentford last season. They're probably ruining the fact they couldn't quite get that deal permanently. But yeah, he's next to Casemiro. What a base from that midfield. After, I don't like to have a go at McFred. You know, I think they've got a lot more abuse than necessarily deserve. But this is quite clearly an elite step up on those guys, isn't it? And Eriksen's very much part of that. 1 goal, 7 assists in 19 league games this season. Only KDB has provided more assists this term, I believe, in the Premier League. I mean, yeah, he's 4th for shots on target, 3rd for completed passes, 1st for passes into the final third, and 2nd for progressive passes. I think Ten Hag probably really admires the consummate professional that Eriksen really is, and we've seen the influence he had. I know Denmark had a difficult Euros, didn't they? But certainly in the qualifiers, he was superb, and in the Nations League before that. Yeah, it's a huge loss. It really is, because you finally felt like United have got some stability, some momentum. We're seeing Rashford come out of his shell, play some great football, and sort of the chopping and changing of previous years. You felt like we've been moving on from that. So yeah, and they've got 4 competitions that they're going for as well. So to lose one of their main midfielders, one of their main creators in the side, he's so important. I mean, United don't actually do much in the midfield. They basically get the ball and they knock it quickly. They bypass the centre of the pitch and they get it out to their wide men who burst forward and create opportunities. I think they've scored 5 goals from counter-attacks this season. It's more than any other club in the Premier League this term. So they've gone back to that really quick transitional play that I guess we've really came to admire, the attack of Old Trafford of many years. They've gone back to that, and Eriksen is so key at that because his passing is so pinpoint that he can find the man and he can release these attacks and they can move on and progress up the pitch. So he's so important at that. But finding a replacement for him is hard. But I think they've got the right man.
Yeah, no, we'll come on to that in just a second. But just to echo your thoughts, it's been amazing to see how crucial he's been to United this season. I think he's 4th in their squad for league minutes behind De Gea, Bruno and Rashford. And he's not really been rested that much, which Ten Hag might now be ruining for that FA Cup tie against Reading, not playing a change side. Reading haven't been pulling up any trees in the Championship this year. I watched them play Sunderland earlier this season at the Majeski, and they were pretty terrible, to be honest, on the day. Things have slightly improved for them in recent weeks, but could Ten Hag have made a few changes? It's easy to say in hindsight. But it felt like Man United were going to have a really quiet deadline day until this news broke that he's going to be out for a considerable amount of time. And it looks like they're going to be making a loan move or trying to make an attempt to sign Marcel Sabitzer, the Bayern Munich midfielder, on loan. There was talk that Chelsea also were interested in this. They're still trying, to get that Enzo Fernandez deal over the line. But Henry, Marcel Sabitzer, particularly at his time at RB Leipzig, proved himself to be an excellent player as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he got 17 goals and 10 assists in his final 2 seasons there. He was a really attacking outlet, great dead ball specialist, got an excellent free kick on him. Really exciting guy when he's in full flow, and I feel slightly sorry for him going to Bayern Munich. Obviously it's his dream. It was his dream to go there, but it's really hard to usurp a midfield with Kimmich and Goretzka. They're one of the best midfield partnerships in world football, full stop. And yeah, he's naturally found his minutes spared there. And unfortunately, certainly with Musiala progressing into one of the great sort of attacking midfielders of his generation, he's not been able to play really in the attacking role that he perhaps would have preferred under a more kind of quick RB Leipzig side. So as a result of that, he's been pushed into more of a defensive role at the base midfield when he has been allowed to play. Only really, I think, 900 minutes last season, ranks 15th in the squad this season for minutes. So it shows that he really is just a rotational option, often plays as many games off the bench as he does as a starter for the side. And if you look at all of his kind of numbers, his defensive numbers have shot up this season for Bayern Munich, and his touches in the defensive third. But what he is great at, which is where he will kind of fit into the mould of this Eriksen player, he's an excellent passer, 87% pass accuracy. You can really trust him on the ball. He's 28 years old. He's a seasoned guy at this point in his career. Fair few caps at Austria too. Get the ball to him, trust him. He's got his long ball ability is excellent too. I think if you're looking for someone to try and unlock the United's attack, certainly from further deep, then Sabitzer's got all the skill sets to do that, and he can push forward and get into the space maybe even rest Bruno, because they don't really have anyone to fill in behind Bruno much of the time too. So Sabitzer sort of fixes two problems there, and I still think McTominay or Fred could fill in at some points, as we've seen this season. Is he a better player than Eriksen? No, he's not. Eriksen is a much more complete footballer than Sabitzer, in my opinion. However, for a 6-month loan deal, having to sort of basically get something over the line on deadline day, I don't think it comes much better than Sabitzer, who apparently didn't even train today. He wants to move. I'm not surprised. It's a great opportunity for him, and I think it's a really good stopgap for United until Eriksen gets back in. And who knows, maybe this could be a longer future for Sabitzer in the Premier League, because he's certainly better than sitting on the bench at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been a number of top midfielders that have struggled to break into that Bayern Munich starting 11 in recent years. Mark Rocco's made a good impact at Leeds, Ryan Gravenberch, who obviously had such a magnificent reputation after his work at Ajax, but I don't think he started a Bundesliga game, or at least hadn't until recently when I last checked. So it feels like a number of players have just struggled to break into Nagelsmann's side. They're also signing Konrad Laimer on a free transfer in the summer, a player that made his name under Nagelsmann at RB Leipzig, has been there for a number of years, is equally more suited to that Nagelsmann system. So that was going to be another player to compete with. So a loan for Sabitzer before signing him permanently, we don't know the fee as we film this at least, is a fantastic move for Man United's sake. And as you say, that versatility, having played in that 4-2-2-2 at RB Leipzig for so long on either of those flanks as well, I'm sure he could do a job on the right wing, which Bruno has been asked to do on occasion when they've wanted to rest Antony. He can definitely cover in that 10 zone, as you point out, which, as you say, behind Bruno, you're probably looking at having to play someone like Jadon Sancho as a 10 behind him. So the depth really wasn't there at all. So for a 6-month deal, they can play him as that deeper, natural Eriksen replacement, and also get occasional minutes out of McTominay and Fred. Fred in particular off the bench this year I think has really improved. He seems to be really developing. A number of players under Ten Hag have shown massive improvement this year. Dalot, Shaw, Varane even, and I think Fred definitely fits into that category as well. So it's a nice solid move. Do you think there's an element of risk from Bayern's perspective, Henry? Because they, have signed João Cancelo on loan, but their central midfield options for the rest of the season, as far as I can see, is Kimmich, Goretzka, Gravenberch, and Musiala, who's more of a 10.
Well, as you said, Gravenberch really hasn't played much football at all. I think it's telling that he's still there, and that they're willing to let Sabitzer go, because Gravenberch is meant to be the future of that side. So if they can get him more minutes this term, it is a gamble, because it's not like they're dominating the Bundesliga by any stretch this term. We saw that against Eintracht Frankfurt last weekend, where they fell to a draw, and actually Colomwani looks like he could have scored a few goals against them, in all honesty. I wouldn't be surprised if Bayern do a bit more business, but as I think Pat was saying on the live stream earlier, which if you haven't looked, go and check out already, João Cancelo can drop into that midfield role if necessary. I think Thomas Muller can even play deeper on occasion there. He's not getting any sort of, might be a natural progression for a player of his position style anyway. So yeah, and Gravenberch could come in. So I don't think it's a massive gamble, but really, I'm not sure they can stand in the way of Sabitzer after essentially what I feel like is probably some false promises to him in terms of game time. He deserves the opportunity to go and get some minutes, and if they can get a good loan fee out of it, then I think it's pretty smart business from Bayern Munich, and I don't think it's going to upset the side too much, but let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see indeed. But yeah, that's our take on Sabitzer to Man United to replace Christian Eriksen. Both really hot on it, actually. I think it's a sensational signing, particularly on deadline day with hours to go. If they can get this one over the line, well played to Erik ten Hag and everyone behind the scenes there. Guys, if you've enjoyed our Football Daily deadline day content, stay tuned for more. We're actually switching up the team. So Chris and Joe and McCubbin and numerous other favourites will be on all the live streams later. Henry's giving out a subtle, not so subtle boo there. But that's us signing off for the day. But stay tuned on Football Daily across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We've got you covered this deadline day. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Football Daily, and we'll catch you later. Goodbye.